Welcome back to Community Matters. We're back with Kathy Messina. We've talked about the real estate lifestyle trends of baby boomers. Well, what trends do you see in millennials? And you're a little experienced with that as well because you have a millennial. But you know, I've read so many articles, Kathy, on the millennials, and they get kind of a bashing at times where they don't want to leave home, they don't want to buy things, and yet facts would bear out that that's not true. What are the trends?
I love the millennial generation. I have learned so much from them. Millennials they're tending to purchase homes rather than stay home.
Yes.
Which is great. Because I think the trend now is that they're recognizing the investment potential. And there are a lot of millennials who are married and who are considering a family. And so they want to purchase something that is going to last and is going to end up a good return for them on their investment. I think the most fun thing that I have seen is the millennial wanting a game room. We used to call them media rooms.
Sure.
Now they want their gaming rooms.
I understand that.
And I think that is fantastic. It's a different need, and it always makes me giggle because I remember when my kids used to sit and would you do something else? But now, I mean, that's a stress reducer for a lot of millennials.
Oh, sure. It's a whole lifestyle, no question about it. The millennials themselves, when they go out and purchase a home, what kind of price range are they looking at? See, when I started with what we call a starter home. I'm hearing that that's not necessarily the case with a lot of millennials. What are they spending money on?
We find that the typical millennial will want a home that's right around in the 2,000 square foot range.
So they want a bigger home.
Well, they want a bigger home. Again, you know, they're considering family.
Right.
So they'll be adding additional feet in the home. The price range that they're looking at is anywhere from the 250s all the way up to 400, 450.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. But when you consider the triangle and what the triangle has to offer as far as jobs and pay scale, it's not surprising because we do have a lot to offer here, particularly that millennial generation.
Well, there's no question about that, but it seems they have the buying power then. You know, have they waited longer to buy traditionally? If you were to take a look at, you know, maybe you and I, we jumped in at a much earlier age. That's just my assumption. Is that true?
I think when you and I were in our 20s, that's when we started considering purchasing a home.
Yeah.
Now, the millennials are waiting to marry. So most of us married, and the baby boomer generation married when we were younger, but most of the millennials are waiting to marry. So you're looking at folks typically in that 30-year range, 30 to 40 years, who are investing in their first home, which is not surprising because most of these millennials will be going to school for quite a while. Most of the folks in this area will have a master's or better as far as a degree. So thereafter, they're getting married and starting their families. So.
Do they have specific areas where you see them kind of gravitating to? Is it near the RTP, for instance, because that's where a lot of jobs are? Right.
RTP, of course, with the universities that we have in this area, anything around the universities are considered hotspots too, because you have a lot of folks who go right into the university setting where they will be working.
Now, how have we done as far as keeping up with demand? I read an article where 90% of the millennials want to buy a house. That's a lot. So is there enough homes for them to buy?
And that's been a hot topic this entire year. Inventory has been low as far as homes to purchase. The resale market, we've just been selling a lot of homes. There are, on average, 62 people, new people coming into the Triangle, whether that is someone coming in for a job or, you know, someone being born.
Right.
So 40 people come into the Triangle typically on a daily basis for jobs. 22 of that 62 might be new births. So you're looking at 62 people. So of course inventory is going to get a little low. And that doesn't mean though that builders can build them as fast as they can, because I don't think that's a great idea. But there is a lot of building going on. Again, we have to look at land and what land is available. So the average person, particularly the millennials, may be looking at a 15 to 25 minute commute depending on where those communities might be. Resale activity, a lot of folks are hanging on to their homes. so we won't have a lot of resales. I've noticed the trend for baby boomers is not necessarily to go out and buy that new home, it's to renovate what they have.
That's interesting. You know, again, I read a piece where in a lot of areas, not necessarily here, well, you can tell me if it has been, that millennials are knocking on doors and the baby boomers aren't giving up their homes. They would like to, you know, to buy their homes. Now, we've got the Parade of Homes coming up. The millennials probably are they looking at a lot of the same things the baby boomers are? I mean, we call it a media room, they call it a game room, but I mean, are there common interests, or do they have something else they're looking for specifically?
Well, surprisingly, there is one criteria that both generations would want, and that is a bedroom on the first floor. The millennials are looking to accommodate their parents if they need to come on board and stay with them, or if they're going to be visiting for a while. So, and we do have a lot of the younger generation who will house their parents for 2 to 3 weeks at a time, maybe 2 to 3 months at a time if they're coming for a visit. So we not only have the baby boomers who want the master down and the guest down, but we have those millennials too who are considering that as well.
It pays to treat those millennials well.
It does.
I want to move in with my kids eventually. That's my retirement plan. I'm teasing. I'm really not. No, seriously, I'm not coming to your house. Kathy, that might scare them because occasionally they watch. Thank you so much for spending time with us. I really appreciate it. Stick around because when we come back, we're preparing you for Parade of Homes.